If you've watched football for even 5 minutes, you've heard it. During the starting lineups, players look directly into the camera and announce themselves. Justin Fields, Ohio State University, or Derrick Henry, Alabama. You may wonder why they bother mentioning a school they left years ago. It's because in a league with constant turnover, a player's college tells the world at a glance exactly what they've been through and what kind of pro-ready DNA they carry with them onto the field. So what do these colleges actually do for a player? For a high school recruit with NFL dreams, choosing a school is a business decision. Colleges provide elite nutrition, professional-grade strength programs, and NFL-level schemes. While high school weight rooms are about getting big, college programs are about functional durability. Players undergo something called modified block periodization. This means their workouts aren't random. They are scientifically timed to peak their speed, power, and explosion right as the season starts. These elite schools focus on prehab, strengthening the specific tendons and small muscle groups in the neck, ankles, and hips that are most prone to NFL-ending injuries. And many programs use GPS vests during practice to track a player's top-end speed and explosive bursts, providing scouts with hard data on their athletic ceiling. You can't build a Ferrari with cheap fuel. Top programs now operate performance kitchens that rival 5-star restaurants. Dietitians create specific meal plans for every player. A 320-pound offensive lineman isn't eating the same as a 180-pound cornerback. They use targeted fueling to ensure players have high glycemic carbs for instant energy before a game and lean proteins for muscle repair immediately after. This is where the money is. We're talking about cryotherapy chambers, hydrotherapy pools, and compression technology like Normatec boots that flush out lactic acid. This allows a college player to practice at 100% intensity on Tuesday, even after a brutal game on Saturday. Schools like Alabama or Georgia run pro-style offenses and NFL-scheme defenses. This means they use the same terminology, complex play calling, and defensive reads that NFL coaches use. When a player chooses a school like Ohio State or Georgia, they are essentially signing up for a 4-year internship at a billion-dollar company before they even get hired by the NFL. Some schools have become position factories. Ohio State is the modern wide receiver factory. They specialize in elite route running and speed, producing stars like Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave, and Marvin Harrison Jr. Alabama is known for its defensive line and linebacker dominance. They focus on the process and physical intimidation, churning out wrecking balls like Quinnen Williams, Will Anderson Jr., and Patrick Surtain II. Iowa is a tight end offensive line specialist. They focus on technical fundamentals and grit, giving us names like George Kittle, TJ Hawkinson, and Tristan Wirfs. The biggest powerhouses in the states right now are Alabama, Georgia, and Ohio State. They dominate because they operate like professional franchises. These schools have unlimited budgets. While a smaller school might have 1 or 2 specialized coaches, these powerhouses employ armies of analysts. They hire former NFL head coaches and coordinators as analysts just to watch film and find tiny weaknesses in opponents. There is a famous stat called the blue chip ratio. It says you cannot win a national championship unless at least 50% of your roster are 4 or 5-star recruits. Alabama, Georgia, and Ohio State often hover around 80 to 90%. They aren't just playing with better players, they are playing with an entirely different level of athlete. These schools have been at the top for decades. A fun fact, Alabama recently set a record with over 70 active players on NFL rosters. That is more than 2 entire NFL teams worth of players from one college. Inversely, out of the nearly 900 college football programs in the US, the vast majority, about 85%, will never produce a single NFL draft pick in a given year. So, you got into your dream school, that's great. But what if a player is unhappy? Do they just pack their bags and leave? Well, it's easier than ever, but it is a massive gamble. In the old days, transferring was a nightmare. You usually had to sit out a full year, losing a year of your physical prime, and you often needed your coach's permission just to talk to other schools. Today, that's over. We are living in the era of unlimited transfers. Under the latest 2026 rules, a player can transfer as many times as they want and play immediately at their new school. It's basically NFL-style free agency, but without the multi-million-dollar contracts. However, don't let the unlimited part fool you. To make a move, a player has to navigate 3 incredibly strict hurdles. 1. The golden window. You can't just quit on a Tuesday and join a new team on Wednesday. The NCAA has condensed the chaos into one single 15-day window in January, specifically January 2nd through January 16th. The catch? This is the only time an undergraduate can enter the portal. The old spring window in April? It's gone. If you don't make your move in those 2 weeks, you are locked in for the year. It's a 15-day frenzy where thousands of players are fighting for a dwindling number of roster spots, while the clock is ticking. 2. Academic standing. The NCAA doesn't care how many touchdowns you have if you're failing math. To be eligible to play immediately at a new school, you must be academically eligible. This usually means a minimum 2.0 GPA. But at elite academic powerhouses, like Stanford or Notre Dame, that bar is much higher. You also have to be on track to graduate. This is where many transfers fail. If your credits from School A don't transfer to the degree program at School B, you might find yourself eligible to play but unable to actually get through the admissions office. 3. The scholarship risk. This is the part that keeps players up at night. The second you officially enter your name into the transfer portal, your current school has the right to cancel your scholarship immediately. You are essentially quitting your job before you have a new one. Every year, hundreds of players enter the portal thinking they'll get a better offer, only to realize the market isn't there for them. They end up losing their free education, their housing, and their spot on a team entirely. As the saying goes, it's easy to quit, but it's incredibly difficult to find a landing spot that actually improves your life. So, with all that risk, why do they do it? Because when it works, it changes everything. Let's look at 3 players who took that gamble. Let's look at Jameson Williams. At Ohio State, he was surrounded by future NFL stars like Chris Olave and Garrett Wilson. He was buried on the depth chart, finishing his second year with only 9 catches. He knew he was elite, but he wasn't getting the reps to prove it. He transferred to Alabama in 2021 and went from a backup to the most feared deep threat in college football, racking up 1,572 yards and 15 touchdowns in a single season. He didn't just improve, he became a top 12 NFL draft pick. One business move changed his entire career trajectory. Inversely, we've seen players like JT Daniels how constant movement can backfire. JT Daniels was a 5-star prodigy who started at USC as a true freshman. After an injury, he moved to Georgia, then to West Virginia, and finally to Rice. Every time he moved, he had to learn a brand new playbook, build chemistry with new receivers, and adjust to a new coaching style. Instead of specializing and growing, he spent his entire career in learning mode. The lack of stability meant he never found his rhythm, and despite his massive talent, he medically retired in 2023 without making it to the NFL. It's a cautionary tale. The grass isn't always greener, sometimes it's just new. Then, there is the ultimate bet on yourself story, Joe Burrow. Burrow spent 3 years at Ohio State, but he couldn't beat out Dwayne Haskins for the starting job. He was a graduate transfer to LSU with almost no hype surrounding his name. In his second year at LSU, everything clicked. He threw for an unthinkable 60 touchdowns, won the Heisman Trophy, and led LSU to a national championship. He went from a bench warmer at one powerhouse to the #1 overall pick at another. He is the living proof that a player's college isn't just where they start, it's where they finally find the system that lets them become a legend. This is all to say that when you hear a player announce their school on TV, they aren't just reciting a line on a resume. They are paying homage to the place that turned their raw potential into a professional reality. For the players, that 5-second clip is a chance to say thank you to the coaches who took a chance on them and the weight rooms where they bled. For the fans, it's a bridge. Whether you're an alum of a massive factory like Ohio State or a small-town hero from a school most people have never heard of, that mention creates an instant bond. It tells the world exactly who built them, who polished their game, and who prepared them for the brightest lights in sports. In a league where the average career lasts less than 4 years, their college identity is often the one thing that stays with them forever. They say it with pride because before they were NFL stars, they were the Buckeyes, the Tigers, or the Bulldogs. Thanks for watching. If you found this breakdown of the college to pro pipeline interesting, make sure to hit that like button. Let me know in the comments, which college do you think is the true NFL factory right now? And don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into the business of the game and try to explain football for the rest of us. We'll see you in the next one.